disilakan. Ya. Semuanya mudah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to International Webinar, Civilization Exchange for Global Peace and Understanding, Center of Study for Empowerment and Peace, Islamic Community Development Major, Faculty of Da'wah and Communication, State Islamic University Syarif Hidayatullah, Jakarta. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wa bihi nasta'in wa ala umuri dunya waddin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'du. The Honorable Mr. Suparto M.Ed PhD, as Dean of the Faculty of Da'wah and Communication, says it. State Islamic University Syarif Hidayatullah, Jakarta. The Honorable Mr. Dr. Murtadi MSI, as Head of the Islamic Community Development Study Program, Faculty of Da'wah and Communication Studies, State Islamic University Syarif Hidayatullah, Jakarta. The Honorable Mrs. Rosita Tandos M.Com Dev PhD, as a Director of the Center of Study for Empowerment and Peace. The Honorable Mr. Professor Imam Muhammad Bashar Arafat PhD, as a President of Civilization Exchange and a Cooperation Foundation and founder of Al-Bashir Seminary. The Honorable Mr. Professor Dr. Andi Faisal Bakti, MA, as a Professor of the Faculty of Da'wah and Communication. The Honorable Mrs. Dr. Wahyuningsi, MPD, as the moderator of the webinar this morning, and all the happy webinar participants this day. Well, allow me please to introduce myself. My name is Nur Malisa, as a Master of Ceremony on International Webinar in this day, with them Civilization Exchange for Global Peace and Understanding. Ladies and gentlemen, therefore, allow me to read out the schedule for this day. First is opening, second is reading Holy Quranul Karim, third is sing the song Indonesia Raya, Hymn of Da'wah and March Da'wah. Fourth is welcome speech. Fifth is delivery material and discussion. Sixth is presenting certificate appreciation. And the last is closing and prayer. Going to the program first, that is opening. Let's open this international webinar by reading Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The second is reciting of Holy Quran by Aulia Khairunisa. To Aulia Khairunisa, time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
A'udzu billahi minasy syaithanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya ayyuhalladzina amanu ittaqullaha haqqa tuqatihi wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. Wa'tasimu bihablillahi jami'an wa la tafarraqu. Wazkuru ni'matallahi 'alaikum iz kuntum a'daa wa allafa baina qulubikum fa asbahtum bi ni'matihi ikhwana وكنتم على شفا حفرة من النار فأنقذكم منها كذلك يبين الله لكم آياته لعلكم تهتدون ولتكن منكم أمة يدعون إلى الخير ويأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر وأولئك هم المفلحون Sadaqallahul azim. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you to Aulia Khairunisa. Hopefully those who read and those who hear get the grace of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Amin, amin, ya Rabbal Alamin. The next agenda that is Sing Indonesia Raya Song, Himna Dakwah, and March Dakwah that will be guided by Agita Salvayanti. To Agita Salvayanti, time is yours.
Dakwaku harum mewangi, citra Islam bakti bersemi, akan ku tanam selalu dedikasiku padamu. Dakwah pelita harapan bangsa, penerang juang dadaku, tulus atas dakwah dan ilmu komunikasi. Kami persuarakan niat dan dharma bakti untukmu Indonesia, demi kejayaan bangsa. Umat terbaik pemegang amanat Tuhan, menabur kebaikan, menolak kemungkaran. Pegang tali keimanan, rahmat semesta tercurahkan. Dakwah bersemi dalam jiwa raga kami, tulus berbakti untuk Ibu Pertiwi. Unggulkan etos kerja dengan ilmu dan karya, tancapkan panji cinta dalam dada. Negeri kaya raya berbineka, beragam suku, tradisi dan agama, panjatkan dakwah santun dan komunikasi. Nusantara berpendar warna-warni, dakwah bersemi dalam jiwa raga kami, tulus berbakti untuk Ibu Pertiwi. Unggulkan etos kerja dengan ilmu dan karya, tancapkan panji cinta dalam dada. Tancapkan panji cinta dalam dada.
Thank you to Agita Salvayanti. So going to program the fourth is welcoming speech. The first one will be delivered by Mrs. Rosita Tandos, MComDev PhD, as a director of the Center of Study for Empowerment and Peace. To Mrs. Rosita Tandos, MComDev PhD, time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. The Honorable Dean of Faculty of Da'wah and Communications, Mr. Suparto, MED, PhD, and then to our speakers today, Professor Imam Muhammad Basar Arafat, President of CECF and the founder of Al-Basir Seminary, Washington, D.C., USA. And then the second to Professor Andi Faisal Bakti, full professor of a Faculty of Da'wah and Communications. And then to the whole team of the Center of Study for Empowerment, Peace and Empowerment. Here with us, Dr. Muhtadi, Dr. Wahyu Ningsih, who will be moderator next, and then Parasit and others. And also I will proudly to share that all students of concentrations of Islamic community development also take a part to this event today. And then also I would like send my deeply thanks to the lecturer professors at Faculty of Da'wah and Communications of UIN Syarif Hidayatullah, and then also to all of audience who joined with us, the students, and then also all the university under the Islamic Higher Education's Ministry of Religious Affairs. And then also here with us also I saw some of the practitioner here with me, also General Asep Saipuddin. He is the the head of divisions of social affairs, Mosque of Istiqlal, who's joined us also to the DC with the organization of Imam Basar. And then also last but not the least, we are so proud with the US Embassy support to our program. And then let me give a slight introduction about how I meet Imam Basar. So in the last month, with the IVLV International Visitors for Leadership Program, sponsored by a state government, US Embassy in Jakarta, we travel with 10 of us, including Grand Imam of Mosque of Istiqlal, Professor Dr. Kiai Haji Nasaruddin Umar, and then 4 others, great imam for over Indonesia, and then 3 of women leaders. So we visit the US, and then to one of them, we so happy to meet Imam Basar and the CCF, and we all of us will learn. I mean, we listen from the imam about how he and CECF work towards all Islamic world. And then I think this mission should be spread to all of us who work call under Da'wah, Syiar. And then I think then we under the faculty of Da'wah, I think we are on the same page to redefine about Da'wah terms, not just bil call, bil lisan, but also bil how, okay, bil action. So under this category, and then we very strong because we under a university, we will support with the research and data, and also to disseminate all the results to the public. So I think for the next future, I think we will focus to this, and then we happily will work with the CECF and other organizations, of course, national and international, to support our missions. And then also I want to share what the center have done so far. We already conduct so many international webinars. The first we invite from Monash University Center for Gender, Peace and Security. There we in the time we launched the center. That's in last 2 years, 2020, when the pandemic just started. So we already set the international webinar, and most our program is international based. So, and then we follow with the discussion, lecturing from different background, of course, with the government representatives, and then so many others. So I think it's not quite far with CECF. Professor Basar have done in US, work with the groups, civil society, religious group, expert, and government officials. I think we can learn so many from him. I do believe, and then I'm thanks so much for the Imam to join with us, and then also Prof. Andi Faisal Bakti. I call them not guru besar, but I call them Maha Guru to learn about their perspective, about their experience, and then what can we bring to our center for the future. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you to
You see,
thank you to Mrs. Rosita Tandos for the welcoming speech. Hopefully it will be useful for our. Also, the second welcoming speech will be delivered by Mr. Suparto M.Ed PhD, Asden Faculty Dakwah and Communication. To Mr. Suparto M.Ed PhD, time is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Nancy. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahilladzi kana bi'ibadihi khabiran basira. تبارك الذي جعل في السماء بروجا وجعل فيها سراجا وقمرا منيرا أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله الذي بعثه بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الحق بإذنه وسراجا منيرا اللهم صل عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد Alhamdulillah, thanks to Allah the Almighty who have bestowed us with this great opportunity where we get together in this forum. I would like to say hello to my Vice Deans, Head and Secretary of Islamic Community Development Study Program, Pak Muhtadi and Bu Wage, Head of Center for Empowerment and Peace, Bu Rosita Tandos, respected professors and my fellow lecturers, colleagues from some other institutions, my beloved students, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to welcome everybody, and it is also my pleasure to speak in front of you in this borderless forum. I'd like to thank Allah for His endless mercy and bounties through which we get together in this honorable forum. Our presence in this room would not have happened without generous contribution and tireless efforts of Pak Muhtadi, Bu Wage, and also Bu Rosita Tandos. And I also like to deliver my special thanks to all eminent speakers to whom I'm indebted so much for their valuable presence. Professor Imam Muhammad Bashar Arafat, PhD, President of CACF, and founder of Al Bashir Seminary, Professor Andri M. Faisal Bhakti, Professor of Communication at the Faculty of Dawah and Communication Sciences. And last but not the least, the moderator of this discussion, Ms. Ningsi. I appreciate very much to all people who have made this event available to us. The choice of this topic, civilization exchange for global peace and understanding, is very timely, where the world has been witnessing relentless atrocities all around the world. Political turmoil, social unrest, racial conflicts, and unbalanced world power have created painful phenomena against the world civilization. We seem to be on the brink of catastrophic moral failure. We seem to lose our moral dignity as human beings due to state of animosities, our blindness towards peace and lack of commitment to developing the canopy of global civilization. And we are witnessing right now the most current war between Russia and Ukraine, and along with US and NATO. I think it is a crystal clear evidence of the clash of civilization between who are Europeans and not Europeans. The clash of civilization, as we have recognized the thesis coined by Samuel Huntington, he believes that people's cultural and religious identities will be the primary source of conflict in the post-Cold War world. Then it is a hope that this discussion will reveal our trajectory to reconstruct the concept of civilized human beings that is built upon peace and mutual understanding for a better world, and how civilization exchange is created. I think this discussion will be very interesting to all of us who are really concerned about global phenomena. And actually, Allah, God the Almighty, has said in the Quran, in Surah Al-Hujurat, verse 13, which says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وَجَعَلْنَكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلِيمٌ خَبِيرٌ. Which means, humankind, surely we have created you from a single pair of male and female, and made you into tribes and families so that you may know one another. And so build mutuality and cooperative relationships, not so that you may take pride in your differences of race or social rank and breed enmities. Surely the noblest, most honorable of you in God's sight is the one best in piety, righteousness, and reverence for God. Surely God is all-knowing, all-aware. Please, my beloved students, stay tuned to enjoy this discussion. And thank you. May God bless us. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamu warahmatullah.
Thank you to Mr. Suparto. All right, ladies and gentlemen, inter-program coordinate is international webinar with the theme Civilization Exchange for Global Peace and Understanding. This international webinar will be guided by Mrs. Dr. Wahyuningsi MPD as a lecturer at the Faculty of Da'wah and Communication at State Islamic University Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta. So Mrs. Dr. Wahyuningsi, time is yours.
Assalamualaikum. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, yes, Mrs. Audible.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa ashabi ajma'in, amma ba'du. Praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has given us this great opportunity to be a part of this great webinar under a very, very important and also very hot issues among us, which is the one that we have already discussed as one of the themes for our webinar today. Salawat and salam to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. The Honorable, I would like to say my greatest thank you for our Dean of the Faculty, Bapak Suparto PhD, for the very remarkable speech. And I am moving when I hear your speech, Pak Dekan. Thank you so much for being with us today and then supporting us and giving such a very great speech to open and to enrich our minds related to this issue. And thank you so much, Pak Dekan. And then I would like to address my greatest honor to the Director of the Center of Study for Empowerment and Peace, our very own, Ibu Rosita Pandos, SAG, MA, Comdes, PhD. And then also the chairpersons of our departments, Bapak Dr. Muhtadi, MSE, and the secretary of our departments, Ibu Wage Pramita Ratnasari, S and MSE. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have two remarkable speakers. The first one is our very invited guest far away from another continent, which is one of the imam and one of the fighters of Da'wah. And then maybe this is a very great chance for us to have him with us to share about his struggle, his fight, and his everything he has been doing in this great country, and then to support the faith of Islam, and then to embrace the people about the true faith of Muslim and true faith of Islam itself, is Professor Imam Muhammad Bashar Arafat, PhD. Assalamualaikum, Professor.
Waalaikumsalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah, finally you can see my face. The last time when we had a meeting during the evening here, so I cannot open my camera at that moment.
Okay, and now for us it's evening here, but I hope you can see me.
Yeah, we can see you clearly. And also I saw your wife
Yeah.
just
So
now.
she's coming. She's coming in a minute.
Yeah, Assalamualaikum. Ibu, we call Ibu for Mrs. here actually. Assalamualaikum, Mrs. Arafat.
Kimberly.
Assalamualaikum.
Kimberly.
Okay, Kimberly. Okay.
Yeah,
Assalamualaikum, Ibu Kimberly.
she's coming in a minute.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so we are very happy and thank you so much for joining and sparing your time for this event. We are very grateful to be a part of this event, and then we are very welcome, yeah, for everybody to join us. And then the second speakers for today's is our very own professor, Professor Dr. Andi Faisal Bakti MA. He is one of the people who tried to make many movements related to the changing of the face and then of the space of Islam, and to put the glory of Islam in our country and also all over the countries. He has been known for many programs and also his work throughout the world internationally. So Bapak Ibu, today's is very, very important and also grateful even for everybody of us. Allow me to read, yeah, and to let you know about who is our speakers today. This is a very good chance for us to get to know these two remarkable persons. The first one, of course, our invited speaker, Professor Imam Muhammad Basir Arafat. Allow me to read your CV a little bit, Professor. So Professor Imam Muhammad Basir Arafat actually was born and raised in Damascus, Syria, Bapak Ibu, and he received a degree in Islamic Studies, Arabic language, Islamic law from Damascus University, under the guidance and mentorship of the late Grand Mufti of Syria, Sheikh Ahmad Kuftaro. He studied Quranic interpretation as well, wisdom of Sharia and Islamic spiritual teaching for 15 years. He accompanied the Grand Mufti during most of the international programs and conferences from 1989, 1990, 97. Yeah, so this is a little bit about his background. And he was an imam in Damascus from 1981 to 1989. When he immigrated to the United States to be the Imam of the Islamic Society, Baltimore. So he becomes the resident of the. Assalamualaikum, Kimberly. Thank you for joining us. All right.
Thank you so much.
Assalamualaikum, Ibu Kimberly. Nice to meet you again.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, welcome.
It's a pleasure to see all of you on the camera. I wish you were here in Maryland with us.
Yeah, I mean, inshallah, we will visit you as soon as possible. Thank you. And you should visit us as well, right? Promise.
Inshallah. For our program in Indonesia.
Oh, sure. Inshallah. Yeah. So we are waiting for you here. We are very happy for hearing you. We are here in the airport and we are going to as soon as possible to get you there. All right, I will continue, Bapak Ibu. So you will see about his imam, this imam, when he was immigrated to US in 1989. Yeah, since 1993, he has been serving in large community in Baltimore, Washington metropolitan area. He taught courses on Islamic studies and Ecumenical Institute of Theology at St. Mary's Seminary and University of Maryland and Baltimore County. John Hopkins University, Concert College, Renaissance Institute, as well as the Comparative Religions and Potomac College in DC. He's currently teaching at Notre Dame of Maryland University. He was campus imam also at John Hopkins University in 1992 to 2003. Adjunct chaplains at John Hopkins Hospital from 2000 to 2003, and Muslim chaplains for Baltimore City Police Department from 1998 and 2006. Yeah, and now he is the president and the founder of a Civilization Exchange and Cooperation Foundation, or stand with CECF, yeah, from 2004 to 2006. CECF provided religious and cultural training. Actually, this is the program of this foundations and consultation and support through the U.S. Department of the State of the YES program exchange, students and host family. So students, if you are willing to have the experience, yeah,
to worldwide experience and face people from many countries, many religions, and also backgrounds. Yeah, this is one of the program of the CECF Foundation, and Professor Arafat has already invited several of Indonesian students as well. Yeah, not only from other countries, but also from Indonesia as well. Alhamdulillah. And now, since 2009, he has been conducting the UBW International Conference, and he also began to conduct an international speakers program on Muslim life and interfaith diversity in America through the U.S. Department of the State of Bureau of International Information Program in Ghana, Chad, Niger, Mauritania, Ethiopia, Uganda, and many other countries all over the world. So this is a very great chance for us to dig deeper about what he has been doing through this foundation, and how, and then how much the progress and what's the result so far, and how to conduct the same thing in our country, and how to support this kind of things with our own foundation or institutions. Thank you very much. Yeah, Professor Imam Bashar. Ladies and gentlemen, since we're going to divide this occasion into two terms, the first one is the terms for our invited speakers. That will be Professor Muhammad Bashar Arafat. I will read the CV of our second speakers later. But before that, I would like to say hello to our second speaker, Professor Andi. Professor. Assalamualaikum, Professor Andi.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, sehat walafiat.
For joining us today, Professor Andi.
Nice meeting you. Yeah.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah. So I'm going to read your profile later when you have started your presentation after Professor Imam. So we honor our guest first. Is it okay, Prof?
No problem. Yeah.
Thank you.
So much.
Jogging.
Ladies and gentlemen, without any further seminar, and I would like the invited speaker, Professor Muhammad Imam Bashar Arafat. Allow me to read a poem given by Arthur Henry Adams. Yeah, one moment, mankind ride and crested waves. Closer beyond, and the wave slow and massive fall.
Bang Ucup. Bang Cikal.
And his crown and animated slave are free and equal to be slave of all. Democracies in their wide freedom brawl and go down shouting to the common grave. So one by one, petals of the rose shrivel and fade, and its splendor goes back to the earth, and in her arms embrace through worship centuries and the dead seed sleep, till spring comes trembling them, and they unleash once more the petal on the world to waste. Arthur Henry Adams. This is one of the poems I think is personal, related to the civilizations in our theme today, and hopefully through this event, we are going to get more faith, more comprehension, deep comprehension about what should we do with the action, just like Abu Rosita said, not just only by praying, but and then saying, but we also do it by action. Now, with an honor, I would like to deliver the stage to our invited speaker, Professor Muhammad Bashar Arafat. Please, Professor, time is yours.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'm really honored and delighted and thankful to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the opportunity to speak to my wonderful brothers and sisters, or sisters and brothers, whatever, in Indonesia, the country that I love, the country that really has a lot of responsibility, I believe, today to share with the rest of the world. Again, I would like to start also by saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wa afdalu salati wa atamu taslim ala Sayyidina wa Habibina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. All praises due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I would like to start by saying that my sheikh in Syria, rahimahullah, almost 40 years ago, when I was still growing up in Damascus, he used to tell us that the translation of the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, لا تقوم الساعة حتى تطلع الشمس من مغربها, that the final day and the final hour and the day of judgment will not start until sunrise from the west. And he would say that probably the meaning of that Islam is going to come from the west. So he would say that it is our responsibility to prepare the du'at to be ready for this mission. Please stop. So he was always emphasizing on one thing, that the imams of today, the scholars of today, the shuyukh of today, the Islamic universities of today, they have to be ready, and they have to have a revolutionary in their curriculums in order to graduate imams and du'at who are compatible with the challenges of the time. So if anybody wanted to memorize the Quran, and after they finish with one qira'ah at Hafiz, for example, and if somebody would come and say, Sayyidi, would you give me a permission to add another qira'ah? He would say, before you have another qira'ah and qira'at al-sab' or al-ashr or al-arbatash, the 14th, go and learn English. He says, it is enough to memorize with one qira'ah right now. If you have more time, go and learn English. If you finish, learn French. If you finish, learn German. Because that's what the world is in need today, to learn about the true message of Islam. So I would like also, as part of my introduction, that this is just an inspiration from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Once he was also visiting me in the United States, because I came in 1989. And once I was walking with him, and he told me, when I asked him something, he said, keep in mind that I'm carrying on my back تخلف 200 سنة. تخلف means, that there is backwardness of 200 years. So, as somebody who grew up in Damascus, Syria, and then I came to America 32 years ago, now I really see that our curriculum that we studied at the university, unfortunately, was not enough to prepare the imams and the du'at and people who are well equipped with the best communication of the 21st century. And I think that was because most of the scholars who taught us, and they are amazing scholars, if I will mention one of their names, all of you know, but they all studied in the Middle East. None of them had an exchange program to be either in the United States or in Europe. And today, we are seeing, and especially if you live in Baltimore, Washington, if you live in the Washington area, you see the whole game. You see the whole think tanks who are doing a lot of research, and they are putting plans for Africa, plans for the Middle East, plans for Southeast Asia, plans for Central Asia. You could see that. And then I hear always Muslims around the world, they always complaining They always complain. Oh, this is an American plan. Oh, this is Jewish plan. Oh, this is Zionist plan. This is European plan. And then I would say, excuse me, where is your plan? Where is your plan? Where is your strategy? So that's why I would like to go back, and I will end my introduction by saying this, because as I was planning today for this talk, it came to me as I was planning here, is to tell all of you who are listening, I see here 128 in this respected Zoom room, to give you a wazifa or a task or a homework. This is a homework for all of you. When you log off, just keep in mind that Imam Bashar told us to go and research Surah Ar-Rum. Surah Ar-Rum. And why? Because again, all the Mufassirin, rahmatullahi alayhim ajma'in, they were in their time. But where is Ibn Kathir of 2022? Where is Al-Imam Al-Razi of 2022? Where is Imam Al-Qurtubi of 2022? Who can tell me in Washington why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called Surah number 30 in the Quran, Surah Al-Rum, and he didn't call it Surah Al-Furs? And why Allah started by this, Alif Lam Mim, Ba'da A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Why Allah said Alif Lam Mim? He didn't say Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum. He didn't say Dhalika al-kitabu la rayba fi. He didn't say any of his normal verses that comes after those letters. But do you know what he said? Alif Lam Mim, غُلِبَتِ الرُّومُ فِي أَدْنَى الْأَرْضِ وهم من بعد غلبهم سيغلبون في بضع سنين. All the verses. So Allah is telling Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam while he is still in Mecca, keep in mind that was Makkiyah, Surah Makkiyah, revealed in Mecca, several years before Hijrah. This has nothing to do with Salah or Siyam or Wudu or Zakat, has nothing to do with Al-Ahkam, but it has something to do with global understanding. That if you, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, going to be rahmatan lil alameen, you have to be aware of what's happening today. So, Alif Lam Mim, the Romans have been defeated. By who? By Al-Furs. Why Allah didn't say Alif Lam Mim, Ghalabatil Fursu fi adna al-ard? Why Allah didn't say Al-Fursu? Why Allah didn't say Ghalabatil Furs? And why Allah said Alif Lam Mim, Ghulibatil Rum? Ghulibat, as you know, in Arabic language, fi'l mabni lil majhul. It's passive voice. So the homework to all of you, I'm not going to tell you all of that, but what do you understand from Surah Ar-Rum in 2022, that why Allah called it Ar-Rum? Because Ar-Rum today means Europe, by the way. And in particular, Western Europe. Why Allah called it Ar-Rum? And he didn't call it Al-Furs. So maybe in the next Zoom, you can share with me, because I have a lot of things to share with you. And that's why I started this. And I call this Civilization, Exchange, and Cooperation Foundation, because my dear brother, the speaker before me, he quoted the verse in the Quran, Surah Al-Hujurat, verse number 13. And he recited, Ya ayyuhan nas, O mankind, Inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha. We created you from a single pair of male and female. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلٍ. We made you nations and tribes, that you may know one another. لِتَعَارَفُوا. إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. So, while I was in the United States as Imam, after 10 years being Imam in America, and Saddam Hussein moved into Kuwait, and the Americans went for the first Gulf War in Iraq, and they brought a lot of, military to the Middle East. And in 1994, there was another problem, and 1996, more problems, and then 1997, and then the creation of Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden, and the attacks on Sudan, attacks in Yemen, here and there. And then in 2001, 9/11 happened. But before all of that, I realized that we as Muslims in America, we do not have an organization that is called وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. We made you nations and tribes that you may know one another. So I created, by the inspiration of Allah, I was asleep once at the house of, I was visiting a house of my sheikh, and while I was asleep, I saw in the dream to start an organization like this. It took me 2 years to plan, and then I went to Umrah after I knew exactly what I want to do. And over there in Ramadan, 2 weeks in Mecca, 2 weeks in Medina, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this as وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. I pray to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help me to transfer this verse from being recited in the Quran into a global project that I would like to call it Civilizations Exchange, because back then Samuel Huntington, as you know, among others, we're talking about the clash of civilization. But I wanted to tell the people in America that it is not the clash of civilization. Actually, it is the clash of interest. And that was, again, at the end of 90s, clash of interest. And now you see it by yourself, the war in Ukraine. The war in Ukraine is a clash of interest, where Putin is saying, well, enough is enough. For how long other powers are going to continue dominate here and there. We are also the Russians, we are this, we are that. So to me, you are witnessing the new world that is created before your eyes. And now we have seen this, the G7 meeting that happened either today or yesterday. And you are seeing all of these problems around the world because of the oil, because of the gas, because of the wheat, and the food problems. Tomorrow we are welcoming here at the office some people from the United Nations. My point is, where are the Muslims who read وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا? Because I live here in America and I have seen how we are having problem with the issue of diversity. Some people here are feeling scared from the issue of diversity, because they are afraid of immigration. In Europe, Britain exited the European Union. They call it the Brexit. Why? Because of the immigration and the refugee issues in Europe that started in 2014 and 15. So my point is, we are really right now in a crossroad. We don't want only to give khutbahs by saying وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ, but only words, talk. And we make, amazing khutbahs and lectures. رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ, rahmat. Excuse me. Yes, I know that Prophet is mercy for mankind. But you in Indonesia, are you mercy for mankind? You in Malaysia, you in Thailand, you in the Philippines, are you mercy for mankind? Or people, when they hear you as a Muslim, they think you are as a terrorist. So I really wanted to make a change in America, because I got sick and tired. People looking at me, they say, oh, where are you from? Syria. Oh, so you are Muslim? Oh, yeah. Oh, Muslim terrorists, right? Oh, in Syria, you live in a tent. You ride camels. So I wanted to tell the people, excuse me, the Islamic civilization is the civilization that brought Europe to Europe all this knowledge and technology and math and science and medicine through Cordoba, through Spain, Al-Andalus, through Damascus, through Cairo, through Baghdad. So how I'm going to do that? I thought I have to start an academic project. Now this project in 2014, because this was in the year 2000. But after 14 years, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helped to start this program. That is Al-Bashir Seminary. As you know, the tradition here in the United States is for you to to create an institute, and people call it Bashar Institute, or people call it Johns Hopkins Institute. People call it Brookings Institute. All kind of, so instead of calling it Bashar, I just called it Al-Bashir. And today I just wanted to share with you that CECF is really the cultural arm of Al-Bashir Seminary, but Al-Bashir is the religious arm. Because sometimes people want to talk, they want to talk culture. They don't want to talk religion. Okay, ahlan wa sahlan, you are welcome. CECF is there. If you want to talk religion, so we started this program, and I, for a reason, called it Civilizations Exchange and Cooperation Foundation, because I read in the Quran, أَلَمْ تَرَ كَيْفَ فَعَلَ رَبُّكَ بِعَادٍ إِرَمَ ذَاتِ الْعِمَادِ وَثَمُودَ الَّذِينَ جَابُوا الصَّخْرَ بِالْوَادِ. So Allah is telling us about Iram and Ad and Thamud and Fir'aun. Those are all civilizations that, at one time walked on the surface of this earth, but they did not listen and obey the orders of Allah, so they were destroyed. So I wanted to tell the people in America, excuse me, there has been also other civilization that walked on the surface of this earth. Let me take you and let me have you visit these kind of civilizations. But I'm not here only for you to see the pyramid and to see these Roman amphitheaters or Persian or Byzantine, but I would like you to study and what are the factors that contributed to the rise and fall of this previous civilization. And it is for the benefit of our mankind today, and for America and for Europe, to understand these lessons that led to the rise and fall of this previous civilization. So that's why I started this program, but I just wanted to let you know that by the grace of Almighty Allah, we started as programs for different universities, because I was teaching Islamic studies at Ecumenical Institute, at St. Mary's Seminary, at Johns Hopkins, UMBC, I mean, different colleges and universities. But then I realized that if they have students, they will run the course. If they don't have students, they don't run the course. So I really wanted to start a program that I can get students from New York, that I can get students from Washington, from Florida, from California, from all over. They can travel with us. And that's why we started the program. And the people started traveling with me all over. But then the State Department said, oh, Imam, can you do programs for us? So we started doing programs for them, and I will be sharing that with you. And then, now this is the third thing, they said, can you travel and speak as you are giving lectures here? Can you give lectures around the world? Okay, sure, I'll be delighted to do so. And then I started to work in the Office of International Speaker Programs. And that was in 2005, and until today, and I'm traveling and I'm speaking. The last program was last month in Kenya, and the next program is going to be in Mali, I guess. And the program after that is going to be in France and Belgium and Holland. But this is not the responsibility of Muhammad Bashar Arafat. This is the responsibility of Dr. Rosita. Because when she came, I said, Dr. Rosita, yes, I know that you are living in Indonesia, but the whole world is waiting for you. The whole world is waiting for you. The whole world is waiting for Indonesia. You know, when President SBY came to Washington in 2014, and may Allah bless his heart, he inaugurated this mosque, Imam Center in the Washington area. And they invited 7 imams, and I was lucky to be one of those imams. And we sat down with President SBY, and he spoke, amazing talk. And then when he finished, I said, excuse me, may I say something? Oh, sure, Imam. I said, Mr. President, I have visited Indonesia so many times. I honestly love Indonesia. You guys, you have amazing culture, amazing coexistence and harmony, and. I said, Mr. President, why you are keeping it for yourself? When are you going to share it with the rest of the world? Where are those imams and Pisantron graduates that they can come to the United States and please come and knock at our door? We as an NGO here in America, we are delighted to work with you. But nobody is knocking at our door. from these universities to do programs for them about religious diplomacy. I said, nobody is teaching religious diplomacy. Nobody is helping the imams how to do global cooperation and international relations. I said, maybe because they don't speak good English. So we are starting now Washington Academy. And yesterday in New York, I was in New York because the ambassador of Kazakhstan had an amazing program in New York. I just took the bus, I went, I attended the program, and they came back near the United Nations. And another lady, she said, Imam, I heard about this Washington Academy. That was yesterday. Wallahi, today she just sent me her bio and everything she would like to teach with us at the Washington Academy, because I thought right now we can do these programs over Zoom. And the students from Indonesia, they can interact with different universities live, different professors and the students. So I wanted to go and take my phone and interview the students on campus and tell them, hey, what would you like to talk to the students in Indonesia? They are hearing you and they are listening. I don't want to have, an online program where, you wake up in, 3 o'clock in the morning and you listen. I understand this is one way, but I wanted to have an interactive programs where students from Indonesia, and guess where? Uzbekistan. And I was in Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan, a lot of students have never been to the United States. In Kazakhstan, a lot of students never left Kazakhstan, never left Uzbekistan, never left Egypt, never left Morocco. So today, that kind of interaction is really extremely important. So when we started these programs, thank God the State Department asked if we can also share these programs with other countries. And then I found out that, wow, each US embassy, they have funding and they have to use this funding every year, because if they don't use it, they have to send it back to Washington. And then I was once giving a talk in Egypt with the presence of, by the way, now the Grand Imam, Sheikh Ahmed al-Tayyib of Al-Azhar. But before, he was the president and director of Al-Azhar University. So I was giving a talk. And he said, Imam, 1 second, let me go and invite all the faculties and the rectors of different faculties and the deans to come and listen to you. I said, okay. So he went and he called all of them, because I was invited by the US Embassy in Cairo. And over there, I spoke about the importance of this ayah in the Quran, by the way. Add this to your homework. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِنْ رَسُولٍ إِلَّا بِلِسَانِ قَوْمِهِ وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِنْ رَسُولٍ إِلَّا بِلِسَانِ قَوْمِهِ. Allah says in the Quran that we have sent each prophet with the tongue of his people. So I was saying in Al-Azhar, next to Grand Imam Ahmed al-Tayyib, I said, excuse me, today it's not only about English language, but it's about also the culture of the language, not only to understand going and coming, but also the culture. Why do people laugh at this word? Why I don't laugh? Well, because you don't understand the culture. So by the grace of Almighty, we started these programs, and then now we are having delegations from different countries that I would like to share with you this presentation. And just to let you know that we will be delighted to work with Indonesia and with this great University of Sharif Hidayatullah, where Dr. Lopez, I had the honor and the pleasure of meeting her in so many events, and normally in Morocco at the presence of the King of Morocco in Ramadan. But this is the programs, the training we do for Al-Azhar, and that's the Grand Imam Ahmed al-Tayyib. And this is the training now we do in Belgium, in Holland, in Europe for the European imams through the US Embassy. And that's at the cathedral in New York, the largest cathedral of St. John the Divine, a program. You can see it on my bio if Dr. Rosita will share the bio. And this is another program to teach the clergy, the Christian clergy, Catholic and Protestant. They travel with us. This is in Morocco, and they were hosted by the ambassador, US ambassador there for a dinner. But guess where the next program is going to be? In Indonesia, because I would like to bring this clergy also to learn about Islam in Indonesia. And of course, the King of Morocco, they like to welcome these programs all the time. We do this training also for the clergy here in the United States or in Europe. When I'm traveling, this is in Italy, the US Embassy, they told the people in Rome, we have Imam Arafat and he's the chaplain for Baltimore City Police Department. Maybe it will be nice for him to speak about culture. And they told me, you are the first Imam to come and speak to us. And believe me, if I will show you the video here, I have it, but we don't have time. This colonel, he told me, Imam, we are having a problem here in Italy. Because when we go to the mosques, a lot of imams, they don't speak Italian and they speak only Arabic, and we are not comfortable when we are in a place and we don't understand. This is here the police in our office also, trying to share with them, those are all Americans, how to communicate with the Muslim community. This is in Belgium, also for the law enforcement. When I was there, and after I spoke here, this police officer, I wish we had time just to tell you what he told me after we finished. He came and he said, this is in Belgium. He said, Imam, I wish you are here because we are having big problem with the Muslim community in Belgium who are mostly immigrants from Morocco. They don't invite us. We don't communicate with them unless there is a terrorist attack. I said, excuse me, you have to build good relations way before there is a problem. Anyway. And this is here, we were delighted and honored when Vice President Joseph Kalla visited. The ambassador of Indonesia in Washington, the previous ambassador, he said, we have to have a meeting. We had a meeting and alhamdulillah, we started, but COVID stopped. But that's where I was so happy. And I really feel Dr. Rosita's visit to us through the State Department, it was a divine intervention. So that's why we are really so happy. But this is way before COVID. This is from the US Embassy. They coordinated my visit here in Indonesia. And we signed some MOU in Jakarta with Almata and others. And this is with Malaysia, this university. And this is, I'm just sharing with you some of the pictures of what we do in Africa and the training for the imams. Because this issue of religious diplomacy, wallahi, it's so much needed, which is the prophetic, way. And this is in Tanzania, Zanzibar. Those are all alumni came to our programs in the United States. And here MOUs in Africa. By the way, when I go to Africa, I don't see a lot of Indonesians. But do you know what I see? A lot of Indians. A lot of Indians, a lot of Americans, but I don't see Indonesians. Well, let me just tell you this before I go any further. Indonesia became Muslim 600, 700 years with those business traders who came from Yemen and Hadramaut and other places. And you keep always talking about when I first did a program with the US Embassy in Indonesia, they shared with me about the 9 awliya. 9 awliya, and one of them we visited Sunan Ambel in
East Java.
East Java in a mosque in this town, Surabaya. This is Surabaya. But then I said, where are the 9 awliya of 2022 for us to invite them to the United States and also to Europe? Because the people are so much looking for those awliya. And we need those awliya, and they are there. But you need to facilitate those kind of interactions. So this is in Africa. And we have this, interface center of Al-Bashir to do these programs. This is my visit to the Archdiocese of Baltimore. And we are planning this conference for 180 churches in Maryland to come and to learn about Islam, because a lot of them, they are in need. This is our affiliated campus, because we have 3 affiliated campuses in the Washington area. This is one of them where our esteemed delegation who visited us last month. They visited us here. That ISWA, Islamic Society of the Washington area. And those are the delegation from East Africa. And of course, our curriculum has visits to the Supreme Court and to understand about the Constitution and the religious freedom in the Constitution and interfaith. This is the training for Al-Azhar. We do training for Al-Azhar in the United States to understand about وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا today. And what are the issues? What are the differences between New York and Texas? What are the differences between California and Florida? What the difference between Canada and the United States? What the difference between the United States and Europe? So this is today has to be added to the curriculums. And this is here, you know, these Al-Azhar graduates when they go back and they get the certificates. And this is our programs in Central Asia, in Kyrgyzstan, and that's the Mufti. And here where the US Embassy is helping for us to have a branch in Kyrgyzstan, and that's the US Ambassador who gave CCF a grant to do this conference in Central Asia. But now, you know, after all of these programs, I don't want to go to Central Asia by myself. Now we are starting a program exchange between Indonesia and Kazakhstan, Indonesia and Uzbekistan, and bring people also from Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan to Indonesia. And I have done that to lay the foundations before. And this is the conference in Central Asia that we are doing for a lot of imams and a lot of young people. Those young people, a lot of them lived under communism. Their parents lived under communism for 80 years. So this younger generation really need a lot of help. So that's the conference that we do. We call it Better Understanding for a Better World. And that's the delegation from Belgium. I'm sorry to take a little bit time. I'm just trying to share with you what we do here. And that's the delegation from Kyrgyzstan. And we do interfaith for them. And this is the conference we did for European imams from France, Belgium, Holland, Spain, and Italy. And this is trainings for imams all over Africa. We do it in Morocco. And I look forward to do these programs in Central Asia, in Southeast Asia, in Indonesia, inshallah, very soon. So these are just some of the academic programs. And this is the training which we call International Observers Program. Those are imams and community leaders from Kazakhstan. They come and they attend our international conference for the youth from 75 countries. And that's what we call Better Understanding for a Better World, which we hope to do in Indonesia in partnership with Sharif Hidayatullah University and invite our alumni from all over the world. And this is the training we do for imams in Kazakhstan, all over Central Asia. And this is in Kenya last year, which helped us to do a conference, also a program last month. And this is the program with the Pope and the Grand Imam, because we are part of the Human Fraternity document. That's why I was in New York yesterday preparing for the conference that's going to happen in September. Now we are in June, and very soon in July, August, and then September, and there will be a meeting between the Pope and the Grand Imam in Kazakhstan because of this Human Fraternity document. By the way, this is with my own camera. That's myself here, invited, among other religious leaders. And this is our conference that is so much needed today to train the imams how to do global peace movement from different civilizations and how you use these civilizations exchange to create peace and understanding among the youth. That's why we call this Better Understanding for a Better World. And Alhamdulillah, Indonesia has been part of that because this is all, they come to us through the State Department. But again, inshallah, I will be coming to do this program because we are now doing it in Europe. And by the way, we just finished last month the first conference in Europe. And guess who hosted that conference? I'm just going to ask all of you. Guess who hosted the conference in Germany? Dr. Rosita, don't say anything because I sent you the... You know who? Anybody would like to say something? Okay. Dr. Rosita, do you remember who?
Yeah, of course, Indonesian government.
Exactly, the
Profesor
Indonesian
Nasaruddin Umar.
embassy
Yeah.
and the Indonesian ambassador. He himself hosted the conference, and he sent us this letter just last week. You see the ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to the Federal Republic of Germany. Imam Muhammad Sharfa, dear Imam, I'd like to thank you for the successful cooperation along with the Indonesian Student Association in conducting the first Better Understanding for a Better World in Germany last April. I believe that such a programs contribute tremendously to building meaningful connections among the younger generation of various backgrounds. Indonesia, as the largest Muslim democracy in the world, with its diversity in languages, religions, ethnicities, and geography, has a lot of experience to share with the international community. I'm glad to hear that you will be able to bring the Better Understanding for a Better World to Indonesia again for Southeast Asian region. We look forward to similar projects in the future. The embassy extends its appreciation for your cooperation and support. This is, again, just the 22nd. Today is the 29th or 28th in our counting in America. But my question to all of you, who is going to do these programs in Europe if you don't speak good English? Who's going to do these programs in Australia? And before I just finish, or let me just finish, but remind me of, just tell you this story. It happened in Japan on my way to Indonesia. So this is our BOBW in Europe, because again, it is our responsibility to be rahmatan lil alameen. And this is our governor, the current governor, who is honoring CECF and saying we are happy that CECF is in the state of Maryland to bring all of these programs. And this is the chief of police in Annapolis, where I'm going to be meeting with them tomorrow. So I'm sorry to take too much from your time, but I'm stopping here just to tell you, it is your responsibility who are hearing me to be rahmatan lil alameen. Rahmatan lil alameen is not only Masjid Istiqlal's responsibility. Rahmatan lil alameen is not only the 9 awliya's responsibility. Each one of you who are listening to me, now is 1:39. Each one of you who are listening to me have to be part of Allahu waliyul ladhina amanu. يخرجهم من الظلمات إلى النور. Allahu waliyu. So Allah has to be your wali. Allah has to be your guide and protector. So before you leave this life, you are going to make a change and make a difference among these different civilizations, because for a reason Allah created us different. It doesn't matter if I'm born in Syria. It doesn't matter if you are born in Indonesia. It doesn't matter if you are born in Cambodia. The point is, what are you doing in your 24 hours? That's the point. What are you doing in your 24 hours? Because whether you are a millionaire or so poor, you both have 24 hours. What are you doing with these 24 hours? That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, again, is telling us, Alif Lam Mim, غُلِبَتِ الرُّومُ فِي أَدْنَى الْأَرْضِ. Why? And please go and see in Surah Al-Rum, in Ayah 20. And why Allah is saying, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُم مَّوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Why Allah kept this verse in Surah Al-Rum and He didn't leave it in Surah Al-Baqarah or somewhere else? Because in the 2022, there will be a lot of diversity. People are going to travel from all over the world. I'm in America. You saw my wife. So my point is, what are you going to do? And what are the international programs of Sharif Hidayatullah University? And how you are going to partner, whether in person, but alhamdulillah, today Zoom is making the possibility for you to speak to the rest of the world. And that's why I'm here And that's why I'm really thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the visit of Dr. Rosita and the rest of the delegation. And I'm thankful to Allah for the country of Indonesia, who is not only the largest Muslim country, but it is a role model of coexistence. It's a role model of harmony. It's a role model of civilizations exchange. So I'm here to learn from you, and I'm here to beg you, to tell you, please, please, please. We have to cooperate, because you are not only the largest Muslim country, but you are the largest country that has youth capital. And those, they have to make a difference, not only in Southeast Asia, but around the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Imam. It's a very inspirational sharing, Imam. So one of the key of the peace and understanding, of course, come from diplomacy, like you said. Actually, in Islam, we call it silaturahim, right? We need to build a good communication between our community, and also we need to build the same one with inter-community. So not only within us as a Muslim to the other Muslim country, to the other Muslim community, but we need also to put that kind of silaturahim to all the other communities. Not it is beyond the countries, beyond the boundaries or the religious views, and also the background of the culture itself. And then I think this is the chance for us to change, yeah, even for people who have a negative point of view to Islam today. And we need to welcome them with a good communication. And we as Indonesia, as one of the ambassadors of Islam, who have so many outstanding wealth and peace and remarkable culture, need to embrace the value of Islam by traveling, by having the movement of the civilization as well. And one thing that I learned from you, Professor Imam, language is one of the key to do so. Language is one of the things that we need to learn. And then the second one, we need to do the actions. We need to go, we need to travel to become the Rahmatan lil Alamin. Thank you so much.
And that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm looking forward to partnering with you.
Yes, exactly. And we're looking forward to have the cooperations further with you, inshallah, Imam. Thank you so much, Imam. Bapak Ibu, feel free to type any questions if you would like to know how to cooperate with Imam, how to build further cooperations with this institution. And this is a very good chance, like Imam said, that he is willing, is delightful to have a cooperation with everybody of you. If you have like a community or institutions or any kinds of the things that you can have a kind of the program together with Imam. So feel free to ask any question. If you cannot speak in English, you also can type or tell in Indonesia. I will help you to translate, and I will communicate your questions later on to Prof. Imam Bashar. So feel free. But before that, before you have the questions, maybe you need to type it first, or maybe you need to prepare your questions. Yeah, I'm going to give the second chance of our seminar today to the second speakers of our seminars, who is Professor Dr. Andi Faisal Bakti MA, to give his further point of view related to our theme today. And then later, please, Professor Imam, would you please stay with us because we're going to get back to you. Yeah, after Professor Andi giving his speech and also presentations. Before that, let me try to read about Professor Andi Faisal Bakti, Bapak Ibu semua, and maybe you also will know about him, Prof. Imam. So Professor Dr. Haji Andi Faisal Bakti MA was born in Makassar. He is one of the youth of or the people or a figure from Makassar. Yeah, South Sulawesi. Have you visited South Sulawesi, Imam?
I visited, but this visit expired already because I have to.
Yeah. Same with Ibu Rosita. So they belong to the same island.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
MashaAllah. And he was born on December 31st in 1962. He completed his bachelor degree in education at UIN Jakarta in 1983. I didn't even born at the time, and complete his bachelor in UIN Makassar in 1989. Meanwhile, he obtained his doctoral or PhD at the University du Quebec in Montreal, Canada, and in the field of international communication development in 1998. In addition, he has also attended the postdoctoral studies in international communication at McGill University, Montreal, Canada in 1998 to 2000. He became the director of International Office, the Center of Foreign Corporations in our university, and now he is the vice rector for corporations, international corporations as well. And further things about our professor, Prof. Andi, he is also the founder of organizations called Center for Cross-Cultural Combination and Human Relation in Action. I think this is very in line with your program as well, Prof. Yeah? And this is a very inspirational things, and we would like to know about his point of view, because our very own professor has many experience related to international communication, international speech as well, and also about his work in terms of the academic fields. And now today, we would like to listen to his presentations related to this issue. Prof. Andi, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much for being with us. And now the time is yours. Please, with honor, you may open your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Hamdan wa syukran lillah, salatu wa salaman ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa mawala. Amma ba'd. I would like to express my thank to the organizer, the Dean of Faculty of Communication and Da'wah, or the other way around, Da'wah and Communication, and of course the organizer, Dr. Rosita Tandos, and also Vice Deans who is attending now, and the program head of the program, Pak Muhtadi, and also the honorable speaker, who is very eloquent speaker today. I would like to hear more actually, but times is limited, and also I was asked to give something in addition to your presentation. Professor Imam Muhammad Bashar Arafat, and also I was happy also to see your wife there attending with us, which is of course very important for the verse that you just mentioned, min ayatihi an khalaqalakum min anfusikum azwaja, ya, litaskunu ilaiha wa ja'ala bainakum mawaddah wa rahmah, inna fi dzalika la ayatil liqaumin yatafakkarun, ya. Here is very common verse to recite or to explain during the wedding, yeah, and then we call it samawah. Sa is sakina, ma mawaddah, wa rahmah. It's very common expression already lately in Indonesia. Okay, here, because of the time, I'm also given a few minutes to deliver some 20 slides. So I think it's easier for me to control the time by giving you some slides, as we call it PowerPoint presentation, and the title is Civilization Exchange for Global Peace and Understanding. I think the title is really timely and very crucial now to raise over and over again. Yeah. And what happened to this?
Can you move the slide?
Can you see my presentation already?
It's the first slide.
The first slide, yeah. I'd like to share. Maybe I have to get out again and then. Hold on. Can you see it? Hello?
Not yet, Bapak. Not yet.
Okay. Okay, this one showing you my first of all, I would like to share also there are two organizations now that I'm dealing with, is called CDES, Center for Information and Development Studies, which is organized or under the management of ICMI, which is Indonesian Muslim Intellectual Associations, which was established by President Baharudin Yusuf Habibie, who was one time very active in doing research incomparable with other secular association for research. And now I'm responsible for developing this center again. And another one is COSDEP, which is UNESCO Chair on Communication and Sustainable Development, COSDEP, which is also established and the only one in Indonesia. Yeah. Okay. Before going further, I would like to see the problems that we are facing now that I mentioned, as I call it as reality and also ideals. Yeah. As you see here, that we are, of course, would like to always, exchange civilization. Yeah. And then we realize that in history, the exchange of civilization resulted in the progress of society itself. And like the influence of Greek and Islamic civilizations, and eventually lead to Islamic civilization, and now is a Western civilization, which is very much close to secularistic instead of Islamic or religious approach. And civilization work peacefully, we believe, for mutual understanding, instead of what Huntington believed as the clash of civilizations. Yeah. But we cannot deny that conflicts between values, particularly between Eastern and Western world, is always rise and on and off all the time. And then, of course, local. Hello?
Excuse me, Prof. I think your PowerPoint is still cannot be seen on the screen. Would you please maybe redo the process?
To stop again, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Just out first, Prof, and then you open it.
Yeah. Udah?
Okay, that's it.
Okay, sorry. Please, thank you for letting me know, because I just continue speaking and then you are not communicated with me. Yeah.
Thank you, Prof.
Of course, we can also talk orally without being helped by PowerPoint presentation. Yeah. Okay, I think I just need to continue because of respect of time. I mentioned earlier that there are two contexts here, which is idealistic context and also realistic context. I just mentioned the idealistic, that we need to cooperate, we need to work peacefully and to establish a mutual understanding between different civilizations of the world. But the reality now is there are conflicts over and over again between values, unfortunately, between East and West, even South and North. And sometimes also regional conflicts, sometimes also national, even local conflicts that we witness every day, particularly as we have now technology that we can see really real time the problems of the world. If you see world news, or you can see now WhatsApp group, everyone has a WhatsApp group, and then all we witness is conflicts and conflicts and conflicts, unfortunately. Okay, particularly because there's a theory of Samuel Huntington, yeah, which is mentioned already by our dean before. Unfortunately, because he emphasized the clash elements of these civilizations, while for Muslim, we emphasize actually the other way around, which is basically we are going to do peace, because the meaning of Islam is basically peace. Yeah, that we always say Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Yeah. Okay. The next one is, there are questions here. Number one is our major questions for this presentation: how to build a global civilizational exchange so as to create peace and mutual understanding. And then I've got some minor questions, which are, what are the concepts of foundational elements of civilization? And what are the challenges of civilizations in evolving narratives? And what strategies can be offered to build global understanding? Before going further, I would like to share with you some theories about civilization. Yeah, this is, for example, very common, as I already mentioned earlier, which is Samuel Huntington, which is now read by 43,000 times. If you notice in the Google Scholar, now you can see how much these Huntington ideas widely spread and then probably shared and then probably understood and applied, which is of course dangerous. And then Janowski and of course myself and Rogers, Shoemaker, Service and us, Wallenstein, very renowned theory of world system theory, and very recently Rahman and Askari. Yeah, recently means 2010. And then my two professors, Thayer and Ravo, who was, both of them were very enthusiastic in building theories from the bottom, from the ground, from the people, from the person, rather than taking theories from abroad or from outside. Okay, brothers and sisters, and the next one is about civilization. Yeah, civilization results from individual good habits, basically, because we are civilized. Yeah, of course, we are doing good things. Yeah, the opposite of barbarianism or barbaric attitude. However, every habit is born in a particular specific context that the average person can reject. This is called the process of negotiating values. And then when individual habits turn into community habits, they become institutionalized values, called the institutionalized values. When a value takes root and develops in society, it is continuously disseminated. It turns into a value that is recognized both by the community and even outside the community, called the recognized value. This is I have elaborated in some other work that I have developed so far. Okay, before going further, I also have a theory that I have developed that I call civil community instead of civil society. Yeah, a civil society in the red bottom, which is shared by secular civilization, which is building first state and then the market and public sphere and private spheres. This is very common, for example, in the theory of Thomas Janowski. While as I see from the Quran, yeah, basically civil community, yeah, emphasizing the communitarianism perspective, which is starting from private instead of from the state, and then the public and the market and the state, as we see from the Quran, Qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. Yeah, you from yourself first, and then you relatives and the public. Inna khalaqnakum min dzakarin wa untha, zakar and untha, female and male, atau male or male and female. And then your tribes, your tribes, you have to recognize each other. So the theory emphasizing this civil community is basically recognition, which is lita'arafu, syu'uba wa qabaila lita'arafu. But on top of this it is basically a taqwa, inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. And then from private sphere to public, and then market, developing the market, the companies, and then how can we earn more capital in order to support our public and the private. And that is actually the basis of the state should be, as we have noticed the practice of Prophet Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and all of the prophets in Islam before that. They all practice this way, that you establish, you improve first yourself, and then you spread it to your own family members, and then to your relatives, and then establishing a community. And that is actually the main principle of civilization development. Okay, this is very clear what Prophet Muhammad, for example, established self-maturity first until the years of 40 years old, and then he was very mature economically, socially, spiritually, intellectually, physically. He was very strong, he was very healthy, and then built his family. We know that the first members of the family who converted to Islam is Khadijah, and Khadijah actually also very strong in economy, and also very strong in family relations. And then build his tribal friends. We know that, like, of course, Ali bin Abi Talib, Abu Bakr, Usman, and etc., etc. And then he moved to Medina, and then established the so-called Madinah al-Munawwar. Before that, he established the unification between Al-Ansar and Al-Muhajirin. And this is what we call Qaum, and at the end we call it Ummatul al-Muslimin. This is our model actually that we should, I think, be realized in order to establish, as Professor Muhammad Bashar Arafat actually has shown to us how already he has developed this model from country to country. And then he encourages us not only concentrating in our own community member, but also spreading it to other countries, while of course improving our own, because there are also a lot of problems here in Indonesia, a lot of conflicts also here in Indonesia. There are still many people do not understand about Islam. This is also a lot of problem that we need to emphasize, of course, in addition to also spreading these ideas to other part of the world. Okay, the second part of my presentation is the challenge of civilization. Okay, there are narratives that develop in interaction between civilizations. Among the well-known narratives in the interaction between civilizations is Samuel Huntington's thoughts on the clash of civilization. According to the color of the skins of human beings, which is rejected, of course, by many, because this is not very good approach that we are always talking about colors, while in Islam is basically there is no difference between black and white, red and brown, or etc., or Arab and non-Arabs. We know very well about hadith about this one. In the past, he was practicing how bad people who are always seeing other colors of the skin as being lower than he or she, him or herself. This, for example, in Europe is white, and then in East Asia it's yellow, and also Middle East red skin, and in Africa black, brown tans in South South Asia, Sapodilia, kiwi skin in Southeast Asia, red India skin in Latin America, and of course Huntington as someone who's supporting very much of Israel. And then he also wanted to establish the so-called new civilization, which is called Israel. These 9, I mentioned there 7 or 8, but basically, in his opinion, Buddhist and Hindu will be united with the red color in Middle East, and of course, centralized in Southeast Asia. This is the challenge, and at the same time, a threat for the West and for the North. That's why he was as a consultant of former president of the United States, which is both, I believe, Bush Senior and then Bush Junior. And then he was in the belief that following this Huntington, that we need to establish strong relations between West and West and North and North. And consequently, as you follow the war after the fall of communism, and then came up with Afghanistan, and then Iraq war, and the Gulf War before that, and then until now, we are divided. The Muslim countries are divided. There's this so-called Arab Springs that divides the Muslims, everywhere. Although there is a good effect of this because people of Muslim people were spreading into the north and also into the west. So consequently, Islamization at the same time took place, which is probably wa makaru wa makarullah wallahu khairul makirin. Okay, of course, there are many criticisms of Huntington, but the cultural base, culture, which Huntington calls a source of conflict or clash, can still be considered. What I mean here is we have to take care of it, in reading today's world, because over and over again, people are using entities, cultures, even race, even ethnicities. There is a so-called ethnocentrism, stereotypes, etc., which are all dangerous for the unification of human being, or in particular in building civilization for peace and mutual understanding. Okay, portrait of civilization, research by Rehman and Askari, very popular also for the last 12 years, Global Economy Journal. And he said that how Muslim countries are truly Islamic, and then he developed the so-called Islamicity indices. And he, in his research, emphasizing, I would like you, Professor Muhammad Bashar, probably, because probably you know these colleagues, he is, George Washington University, comment about this, Yes, so he puts that countries like New Zealand, Luxembourg, even Canada, where I was studying, and the northern countries, Scandinavian countries, are the highest in terms of this index. While unfortunately, Muslim majority countries, including countries with low Islamic index, are not included in the category. I think Malaysia is only number 40, and then Saudi Arabia is very low, and then etc. This is actually at the same time embarrassing, for Muslim countries, because we or they actually call themselves being Muslims, but in terms of this category, they are not Islamic at all. Okay, number 3, this is the last part of my presentation, brothers and sisters, which is civilization exchange strategy. Okay, actually there are theories or models introduced by Rogers, for example, and other people, yeah, for example, Lee Thayer and also Wallerstein and also Service and Thayer and then Ravo believe that in order to develop a community, first of all, we need to do diffusion of innovation, which is creating technologies, and the product of technology should be diffused, yeah, to other countries, and people will be automatically developed, will be automatically civilized. Since the technology, of course, products are very expensive, and then the second model was introduced, which is social marketing, in order to make it more social and more affordable to the people in the South, in particular, as an object of market. And of course, this the Japanese very much took benefit from this model, because they eventually established Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, Kawasaki, Datsun, etc., etc. And then eventually, Japan became major economic giants in the world. Only a few years after Hiroshima and Nagasaki bomb. Yeah, a very interesting model, because they had a very strong human resource people, and then that's why in a very short time they could manage to rise up once again as a major political power, not political per se, but economic power in particular. But this one is also, again, still expensive. And then the theory of participatory introduced by Service, for example, said that we need to establish the technology or automotive in particular in the South, yeah, Africa, India, Indonesia, in order to be able to enjoy the technology, the technological products, as the way people in East Asia and also in Africa, in Europe and United States. By establishing this automotive infrastructure and also manufacture in the South, and then consequently people can, of course, enjoy these products. However, as we see, the problem is that, again, only the owner of these companies from Japan, from Korea, and from Europe, and from the United States basically take the most benefit of this model. That's why the last model should be introduced, which is active perception model, which is close to Islam. Yeah, very much close to Islam. I agree with Professor Muhammad Bashar Asad that da'wah is not only your own people, but you have to do da'wah. Fazakir inna fa'atid zikra sayadzakkaru may yakhsha. Fazakir innama anta muzakkir lasta alaihim bimusaytirin illa man tawalla wa kafar. Inna allaha la yughayyiru ma biqaumin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Dzalika bi anna Allah lam yakum mughayyiran ni'matan an'amaha ala qaumin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. And the last one is very strong in Surah An-Naml. Yeah. Yeah, when qala indahu ilmun minal kitab ana atika bihi qabla an yartadda ilaika tarfuk. Very important to me, this verse that Prophet Sulaiman had already established a strong center of technology by transferring the development, the civilization of Balkis, yeah, and then he changed and adapted, yeah, nakiru laha arshaha modify, ATM, yeah, amati, tiru, and modify in the Indonesian word. So observe, imitate, and modification. Yeah. He modified very quickly this throne, and then when Balkis came, he was actually stunned, and then she didn't recognize this. Hakada arshuk, and she said, Ka'annahu huwa. And then, of course, because as this throne has been modified, and then she wanted to go in, and then she thought it was a water floor, but actually this was not a floor. That means that we can create things, and then we can transfer things very, very fast in terms of technology, in terms of now air manufacture or flight. Basically, we can establish this model that we can move from one area to another area within a minute, even in a blink of an eye. Yeah. Ayar tanda ilaika tarfuk. Yeah. Before your eyes even blink, which is faster than blinking. Yeah. That means that we can one day establish this kind of model. Yeah. But we need to work hard. Now, what we are doing, just transferring all technological products from the West. We are not creating our own technology and then exporting this to other people, and the economic benefit will be back to our own community, Muslim community, for example. Okay, the next one is cultural meeting opportunities. Yeah. New media, internet, and globalization is now in our eyes, in front of our eyes. The new media of the internet is making the world smaller. Yeah, the interaction between people in the world can happen so fast. Yeah, the meeting between various civilizations is, of course, inevitable. The counter between civilizations yields two possibilities. Number one, of course, is clash, but we can also establish mutual understanding as the purpose of this webinar now that Dr. Rosita Tandos and Wahyu Ningsi is dealing with, and of course our dean now. Okay, civilization, communication, yeah. Exchange requires openness of interaction. We have to open. Yeah, yeah. Terms of interaction are contact and communication, of course. We cannot avoid being in contact with others. We have to travel. Fasiru fil ard fanduru kaifa kana akibatul mukadzibin. Yeah. Inclusive and egalitarian communication is the key to the exchange of civilization. The values of community is a civilizational communication message that is exchanged between different people that I have already wrote in 2 articles. Probably many of you will, hopefully some of you are interested. And exchanging values between global communities is a form of civilizational exchanges. Okay, exchange values, starting with the negotiation of values between civilizations. There is the possibility of acceptance and rejection of values, of course. If there is an acceptance, it will result in adaptation of value of other civilizations. New civilization will rise up. If there is a rejection of the value, it requires mutual understanding and tolerance. Okay, the end. In conclusion, my brothers and sisters, we have to remind ourselves that the meaning of Islam is not only submission. Many people in the West believe in that the meaning of Islam is basically submission. This is also coming from us, probably wrongly introducing Islamic meaning or the meaning of Islam. Here, as I see, this is only some of them. The meaning of Islam is basically peace. Peace be upon you. Assalamualaikum. Yeah. Udkhulu fis silmi kafah. Darussalam, etc., etc., security, yeah, safety, stability, salvation, normalcy, healthiness. You have to be healthy, you have to be Muslim, because you have to clean yourself at least 5 times a day. Yeah. And then, of course, health here is not only related to body, but also health in terms of your nafs, yeah, your soul, rights, yeah, hak or righteousness, taqwa, justice of all, adalah, and only submission I put here almost at the end. But actually there are more meanings. Can also mean tolerance, harmony, solidarity, etc., etc., which is very important to introduce to the West, that this is actually the meaning of Islam. We always like to make peace with you, peacemaking, peacekeeping, and peace building. Wa akhiru da'wana anilhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much, Prof. Andi Faisal Bakti. This is a remarkable speech and also lecture in the same time. So I got many things from your presentations about civil community and civil society, about Huntington thought, that when I try to digest, and this is my conclusion, we need to establish a strong relationship and communication between West to West and North to North, like what you have said in your presentations. Thank you so much, Prof. Andi, for the very delightful and insightful thought that you have already shared with us. Bapak Ibu, we have already finished both of our presenters and also speakers about their presentations and also their thoughts related to this issue. And we have several people and audiences that already delivered their questions through the chat box. But I would like to invite you, maybe one of you or two of you will directly face our two remarkable speakers here, Prof. Andi Faisal Bakti and also Prof. Imam Bashar, directly ask him questions and by opening your camera. I'd like to invite our very own professor as well. First, Professor Asep Saifuddin, would you please care to join us with the camera? Prof. Asep, would you please join us with the camera maybe, so you can talk directly to both of our professor here? Okay, if not, now I'm going to read his questions, Prof. Imam Bashar and Prof. Andi. This is the question from Professor Asad Saifuddin actually. So he say hello to both of you, and then he said thanks to join this remarkable event as well. And he asked about what can we do to stop the war between Ukraine and Russia today, because actually this has already destroyed the civilization, and it has already made so many victims, and none of the including United Nations giving a significant contribution to stop this war. Maybe what do you think? What can we do to stop this war? Maybe the first one, Prof. Imam Bashar, and then after that, we would like to hear from Prof. Andi for these questions. Please, Prof. Imam.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm not aware of any of Islamic country until now, and the war has been going on for now almost since February 24th. March, April, May, June, 4 months, I did not see any Muslim country held a conference to say to the world, excuse me, you are threatening each other to use nuclear power? Are you threatening to, destroy everything? What kind of civilization is this? And here I would like just to tell my dear brother, who just spoke wonderfully after me, that today, if you speak about Samuel Huntington with a lot of people in the street, they have never heard of his name. They don't know who he is. Those who are not so much educated, you know, I'm talking about the Americans, the uneducated Americans. So what I like about this country, that the people are encouraged to do something. So I really hope that Indonesia will hold an international conference about, you know, about civility and civilizations, and peace, and tell America and tell Europe and tell China and tell Russia that what kind of civilization is this if you have the best plane, the best cars, the best this, the best that, and then you are going to destroy everything with a push of a button. We have seen what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. For God's sake, let us raise this issue, because today people in Russia every other day are talking about that we have nuclear power, we can wipe Britain off the map within 3 minutes. Excuse me, is this the civilization that Samuel Huntington is talking about? Is this the civilization that other people in Europe are talking about? The civilization in the Quran that has mercy for mankind, that has compassion, that has kindness, that has cooperation, that has help. Let us talk about the essence of Islamic civilization. Otherwise, if the people are going to end up killing themselves, so please talk to us. Here in America, people need to, you know, to hear that. Look at Indonesia, the Muslim country is speaking common sense, is speaking, you know, rational talk. Because here people in America, I'm telling you, are getting sick and tired of, you know, of this nonsense. So really, I myself, I cannot wait to get to Indonesia, to partner with the rational scholars and intellectuals and with institutions like Sharif Hidayatullah. The whole world is waiting for you, Indonesia. The whole world is waiting for you who are with me now. How much now? 125 people. The whole world is waiting for you. Please make some conferences, make some seminars, write some blogs, make some videos, and make it addressed to America, addressed to the Americans, and addressed to the Russians, and addressed to the Chinese. Is that how you are going to do with this, you know, nuclear power to destroy the whole earth? So this is now the time of talking, the time of expressing our views. Demand from us something, like where are the rational people of America? Because believe me, over these 4 months, I hear here in the United States every other day, the people are, you know, frustrated. The gas prices is going high, inflation is going up, interest rate is going up. People are sick and tired. I'm not hearing from Saudi Arabia anything. I'm not hearing from Egypt anything. I'm not hearing from the whole Middle East anything. People in Indonesia, where you have democracy, you should do something about civility and ask, you know, people in the United States, ask people in Europe, is this where all this technology is leading us to wars and conflicts? Is this where we are going to end up? So that's why I think if you will start something like this in Indonesia, wallahi, you will see a lot of rational people in Europe would say, wow, look at that common sense voice coming from Indonesia. So I just would like to tell all of you, please do not be shy. Speak up. But the culture in Indonesia is so kind and so nice. So the people sometimes, you know, are do not want to offend others and speak. I mean, that's the culture in Indonesia, that I don't want to offend you. But excuse me, there is no time anymore. People are about to push the button on nuclear. So please, please, please hold these seminars, have some, you know, events, and invite the ambassador of America in Indonesia, the ambassador of different ambassadors of Europe, different ambassadors from China, from here, from there, and say, we are the voice of the world. We are the voice of the future. So talk about the environment. Talk about the value of human life. The value of human life that we as the youth of Indonesia are very much concerned. So speak a little bit in a language that, you know, speak to people in other countries. Excuse me, is that how, what do you expect from us in Indonesia? Just to give you oil and gas and to give you, you know, this and that? Or we have also a message to you. Once you speak this, people in America, people in Europe are going to take your message and share it on their social media and say, wow, look at this wonderful message from Indonesia, because the people are sick and tired. Wallahi, they are, I'm telling you, people here are killing themselves, suicide. Just go and search about the rate of suicide here and there. The voice of peace and tranquility and tuma'nina and sakina, ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. That's why we need to show the people a different message and a different mission. And if Indonesia would raise its voice, a lot of people are going to follow. And that's why I would like to add my voice to people like Dr. Rosita, to people like those who visited us last month here in Washington through the program, and people from Sharif Hidayatullah, people from all over Indonesia. I know you are so wonderful people and so kind, but please, for God's sake, speak up and do some conferences and seminars, and the people are going to join you.
Thank you very much, Imam. This is the things that we need to do, yeah? By giving a speech, by sharing our thought and involve them to hear us, right? So that's what Imam share and ask us to do, actually, speak up. And what do you think about this, Prof. Andi? Would you please share your thought as well? Prof. Andi?
Okay, yeah, regarding this war in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia, of course, is very much unfortunate for us here. We know the propaganda that Putin already told us why he did this, because America basically also has been trying to do the same thing in Iraq, in Afghanistan, and everywhere in the world. And no one can challenge this country at all, particularly because it is supported by the West, by the NATO. And of course, Soviet Union used to be also a huge country comparable to NATO, but eventually became smaller and smaller, and then now become Russia. And then countries around this Russia, basically former Soviet Union, and basically also very close connection, yeah, culturally between Russian people and the neighboring countries of Russia. You look at the names, for example, Helsinki, Zelensky, very much Russianized names. And then, of course, for 90 years, power of the Soviet Union in power in these regions, in terms of culture, tradition, of course, becomes very strong. And now the US and NATO actually trying to approach closer and closer, and eventually entering this Ukraine, which is very much in the past the center of Soviet Union. And then according to Putin, if you occupy Ukraine, so basically you are occupying our yard. Yeah, you are already inside of our ayat. Yeah. So we have no time now to postpone, but to go and wage war. Yeah. Otherwise, you will be able in the future control our country. Yeah. And then during this Cold War, we don't realize that Soviet or Russia has established a very strong military might. Yeah. And then after the Cold War and the war between Muslims, actually Muslims have no power, but the United States and the West seems to be changing the enemies from communist or Soviet Union to Muslims by probably many people believe by following the suggestion of Samuel Huntington that the South will be united and fight against the white people, in particular in the Soviet, in the area of Europe, Western Europe, and also the continent of the Americas. So this is the argument and the propaganda of Putin, which is also a little bit making Muslim kind of seduced because, of course, Muslim for the last 21 years, since the 2001, once these twin towers have been destroyed, and then many people, and including the American people, believe that it was actually conducted by the Muslims, Al-Qaeda, although there is no proof whatsoever, because the 19 hijackers, of course, were killed and nobody can witness the evidence or the proof of this action, but eventually this is made as a pretext, to attack South Afghanistan, Iraq, and creating some Arab Springs, and then eventually Muslims and Arab world in particular were divided until now. And then by the Putin's propaganda, probably he would like to get attention or support from the Muslim world. In my opinion, Muslims should be really careful about this strategy, because the two are basically in the Quran, Al-Baqarah, 177, laisal birra an tuwallu wujuhakum kibalal masyriqi wal maghrib walakinnal birra man amana billah wal yawmil akhir wa malaika wal kitab wa nabiyyin etc. ila akhir ayat. That it is not good that you are influenced by the West or by the East, occidentally or orientally, or the countries of Occidentals or the countries of Orientals. But you have your own way, your own way, which is believing in God, believing in the hereafter, into the angels, into the prophets, into the Holy Scriptures, not only the Quran, but also the Torah, the Bible and the Zabur. We all believe this. La nufarriqu baina ahadim min rusul musaddiqul lima baina yaday. That we confirm, we strengthen about the teachings, so long as those teachings are in line, of course, with the Quran. Because we believe the Quran is empowering or reinforcing actually the messages of, let's say, civilization of the past, and now we are continuing in the tradition of Islam. So again, in my opinion, in this case, we have to be cautious, facing the two wars. You are not made as a target once again, or an object once again. That so long as you are for God, the only God, Tawheed, Allah, with 99 names of God, and of course believing in angels, that this also need to be emphasized the meaning of these angels, because so far angels is always seen as only in the sky, only in this unseen thing, but basically these angels very powerful in all of our activities. Yeah. Kiraman katibin ya'lamuna ma taf'alun. Okay, I agree with Professor Muhammad Bashar Arafat that we need to speak up. Yeah, not only speaking inside your own community members, yeah, but we really need to express ourselves outside. Yeah, we have to do ukhrijat linnas. Yeah, this is the model of Islam. Number one, ukhrijat linnas. Kuntum khaira ummah ukhrijat linnas. Number one, you are the exemplified community if you are open and outward looking. Ukhrijat linnas. Whatever the annas, whatever the human beings, whatever the color of the skins, this is the object of your da'wah. The second, ta'muruna bil ma'ruf. Yeah, you have to encourage these local and universal values of Islam, which is, of course, relevant to any values of the world. Yeah, because this is basically al-ma'ruf, which is known to any community members, any ethnicities, any race, any countries of this universe. Number three is ta'muruna tanhauna anil munkar. We have to really discourage, yeah, the dangerous elements, dangerous values that can detriment our this local or national or universal values. Number four, this is basically not emphasized now in the West, yeah, because they don't believe in God. While in Islam, in this Surah Ali Imran 110, tu'minuna billah. So number four elements. In order to establish a civilization, you have to have a tu'minuna billah, which is not shared very much anymore because they believe in secular life. If you compare with Ali Imran 104, which is very common, very broad, yeah, very universal, yeah, wal takum minkum ummatu yad'una ilal khair, yad'una using ya, yeah, yanhauna using ya, yeah, yad'una ya'muruna yanhauna. While in the verses 110, now God changed the verb, yeah, tanhauna, ta'muruna, tu'minuna, meaning everybody should do it. Not only Muhammad Bashar Arafat, yeah, but Muhtarul Alif, Wahyu Ningsi, Joni, Ririn Agung, Muhammad Zahra, Nurul Hidayati, etc., etc., should do this. Fadakir innama anta muzakir. We have to do it. Yeah. And then Prophet Muhammad, yeah, remember that don't sleep in your own blanket. Ya ayyuhal mudaththir kum fa'andir. You have to stand up and give reward, give also instruction, remind people about good deeds, about al-ma'ruf, and then demanding people to avoid these destructive values, al-munkarat, and then encourage people to believe in only one supreme God. Okay, this is Wahyu Ningsi.
Thank you so much, bro. Right, ladies and gentlemen, Bapak Ibu, we are very happy to have you and very happy to move on to the other questions. Actually, there are so many questions there, but I'm afraid that our Imam Bashar has another activity to do, and I think that it's too late there. It is midnight already, I guess.
Within only 4 hours and we'll pray Fajr, so don't worry, go ahead.
Maybe we can give time to Pak Asep Saifuddin from Istiqlal. You can open.
Pak Asep, will you care to join us with the video, maybe?
Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you, Prof. Imam Bashar. Last month I came to your
Good to see you again.
Okay, thank you very much. And then thank you very much for Professor Andi. Actually, once last month came to Istiqlal, the ambassador of Ukraine. He asked me, although in Ukraine Muslim only 1%, I want you to pray for my country from Russia. And then last 2 weeks come Imam Masjid from Russia. The same. He told me that although in Russia Muslim not so much, I need you to pray for Russia. And then I tell last month John come to Indonesia to Istiqlal, the ambassador from China. I told him how to help between Ukraine and Russia. It is not about religion, but it is not about humanity and civilization and peace. If you don't think about religion, let's think about humanity, civilization. The ambassador from China told me that we will do it. This week's president of Indonesia in Russia and will come to Ukraine. Where is the other president who come there? Praise be to Allah. President Joko Widodo now in Russia and will come to Ukraine. What's for? That's, I think, the same with this webinar. Yes. The same with this webinar to make civilization change for global peace and understanding. We pray to Allah. So, Mr. Jokowi, in group, the president of Indonesia who come to Russia and Ukraine, not the other president come there. I think. Now, that's why it is our duty, because we cannot come there. Last long years, I be with the operation in Bosnia, in Lebanon, to make civilization and peace in Bosnia and Lebanon. When I was a soldier, an officer, and now I in Istiqlal. So that's why, thank you very much for this. But the President Jokowi now there, we have to pray. We don't think about result, but this is an effort. Effort and pray and pray and pray, because we can't do that. Next, maybe next month, maybe next months, I will go to Russia with invited by Imam. And then I will come to Bosnia, invited by President of Bosnia, inshallah. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you, Profesor Muhammad Hasan. Thank you very much, Pak Prof. Andi dan Ibu Moderator Wayunisi, juga untuk Dr. Rosita. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
May I tell him something?
Yeah, sure, sir. Please, Prof. Imam.
This is just a humble suggestion from your brother, Muhammad Bashar Arafat in America. Masjid Istiqlal has to make once a month a global peace or a global call for peace, a webinar, international webinar for the whole world to listen, and make this monthly lecture or monthly events that you have, different kind of speakers to emphasize on the importance of civilization and global peace, civilization and global kindness, that this is the message of Islam, this is the message of Istiqlal to the whole world. So my dear brother who visited me in the mosque last month, and you are the admiral, right?
Yes, sir.
You are the admiral, okay.
Yes.
It is your duty also with Dr. Rosita to make once a month a webinar for the entire world to listen the message of Istiqlal, because Istiqlal is like today the Vatican. Istiqlal has to be the center for spreading the message of peace and reasoning to the whole world, because the people, when Indonesia talk, people would listen. So I really would like to tell you, Masjid Istiqlal has to have a global presence. And once you start doing that and make it very professional, get the best of the people of the social media, and let them prepare in advance a short video that this is what we stand for, this is what Indonesia stands for. I really feel Indonesia should be the country that lead for peace and mercy for mankind, rahmatan lil alameen, around the world. But this has to come from Istiqlal, because you have, that center which is a global. So I really feel this should be done once a month, and I will be delighted to also join and promote this monthly message here in the United States, and ask other imams to promote this and make it live so people can log in to your social media, and you make this call once a month. So let the people listen to the message coming from Indonesia.
Thank you, Professor.
Very good,
Thank you.
very good. Yeah,
Thank you,
Dr.
Prof.
Rosita Tandos, is able to do that, working together with Faculty of Dawah and Communication,
Okay, I see.
Syarif Hidayatullah.
And
While
this
I
will be
myself
one of
work
the
also
results,
in
this will be one of
Istiqlal.
the fruits of today.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe become, yeah.
Exactly. I agree with that. Baik, Bapak Ibu, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, Prof. Asep Saifuddin from Istiqlal have here to join us with the video today. I am so sorry to the other questioners, Ali, Agita, and also Bapak Joni Alvino. He is actually my friend, not from Islamic University, but here to join us with today. And I really would like to say hello to him and really care about it, even though he has come from public university, not Islamic universities, but still in the same page with us actually. So actually all of us here would like to have the same goal, which is speak up for the world, that this is the real face of Islam, this is the real value of Islam, and then to open their minds that the thought of themselves actually is not appropriate with what they have already act today, including with the war or any kinds of injustice things happens all over the world. Baik Bapak Ibu, to end this webinar, I would like to invite our director, Ibu Rosita Tandos, to have a closing remark, and also later on we invite both of the speakers to give the closing remarks. I'm so sorry not being able to read all of the questions from you, Bapak Ibu semua, because we are running out of the time. It's almost 30 minutes more than our scheduled 11 o'clock, and we would like to invite Ibu Rosita to give the closing remark, as well as after that following by both of our speakers. Please, Ibu Rosita, please welcome.
Okay, first of all, I would like to thank for all our speakers for today for involving our event and the Center of Study for Peace and Empowerment. Like always, Imam Basar always remind me, where do we move from here? So we not stop from here. This is just beginning. And then some notes I think we have to emphasize for not just for the center, but for those who involved in this forum today, that participation and real contributions is demand from us. We can work from any levels, right? We can work at the university as academicians, as professors, as students, but we can also work as a faith-based organization like a mosque, what is shared by Imam Basar that remind like in Masjid Istiqlal and other, I think, Masjid Raya in Indonesia to play the role and the message. Share the message of exchange civilizations and global peace and understanding. we can play in many models, in many approach, best practice that effectively if applied in our, but then again and again, our needs and work together is far from that. So that's more than that. So I think we are at the center of study for empowerment and peace. We'll develop more and more, and also network with, of course, to the CECF with Imam Basar there. And then we already set a very beginning effort. One of them is this webinar today. And then we also will involve also others. I think that's why our plan for the future is not just like work with the community, with the society, but also to run like a very basic thing, like doing research and disseminate the results to the public. So everybody can more aware, more understanding to what we work with. So lastly, I just want to share with you all that Professor Imam Basar is happy to get connect with you all. I think Imam, they come from, I believe they from Islam Higher Education University. They can be a professor, they can be practitioners. I saw some of them from that background, and also I saw also so many from our connection. So please, you can contact through CECF also, and then through our center, of course, because we will be seriously to work on this issue, and then the Faculty of Da'wah and Communication, and UIN Hidayatullah, of course. So that's the last from me, and then I'm happy, and thank you so much for the participations and then great contributions to our forum today. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Bu Rosita. I think that will be the end of my duty today to be the moderator of today's events. I'm very, very happy to be a part of this event, and also being the witness of two remarkable speakers, that have already given us so many advice, not only advice, and also examples, models to what should we do as a personal, as a country, as a academicians for this civilization exchange for the global peace and understanding. So, Bapak Ibu, at the end of this program, as the question and answer, I cannot read all of the questions due to the time, so I'm really sorry for this inconvenience. And to my sessions, I would like to say thank you very much for participation and also your questions, and both of the speakers here for your remarkable answers and thought that you have already shared with us. And the last but not least, I would like to say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, and I would like to return the following agenda to the MC. I think that will be appreciation for both of our speakers after this. And I would like to apologize for any kinds of mistakes that I have done during the process of moderating this event and webinar. Thank you so much, Professor Imam Basar Arafat, and thank you so much, Professor Andi, for presenting both of your thoughts. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih Bu Neng.
Terima kasih Pak Joni.
Thank you very much.
Apa kabar?
Alhamdulillah.
Back to MC.
Ditunggu di Padang. Ditunggu di Padang.
Iya Pak, siap.
By the way, I look forward to stay in touch with Dr. Andy, if you don't mind, Dr. Andy.
Thank you, Bu Wahyuningsi, for guiding the webinar Internasional on this day. So the next agenda is giving a certificate of appreciation. So for first appreciation will be given to Mr. Professor Imam Muhammad Bashar Arafat, PhD.
Thank you.
Can come up.
MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah.
Thank you for your transferring knowledge from all of us. So for the second appreciation will be given to Mr. Professor Dr. Andi Faisal Bakti, MA.
Belum. Alright. Wow, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, and the last presentation will be given to Mrs. Dr. Wahyu Ningsi as a moderator of this webinar.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's an honor. Thank you so much. Committee, MC.
Ladies and gentlemen, finally, we come to last agenda. Before we close this webinar, let's read prayers unto God Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. For the prayer will be led by Mr. Rasid SOC MUD as a lecturer of Faculty of Dakwah and Communication. The time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before closing our international webinar today, my what we have today in this webinar will be for us for our academic studies for all in this world for global peace and understanding. Al-Haziniya wa kulliya konsultatin al-Fatihah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin arrahmanir rahim maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in ihdinas siratal mustaqim siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Allahumma shalli ala sayidina Muhammadin wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad. Allahumma arhamna warfa'na warzuqna wahdina wa'afina wa'af'anna. Allahumma inna nas'aluka ilman nafi'an wa rizqan thayyiban wa amalan mutaqabbalan. Allahumma inna nas'aluka al-barakah fi ilmina wa fi ta'allumina wa fi manzilina wa fi auladina wa fi azwajina wa fi kulli a'malina wa fi tijaratina wa tuli hayatina ya Allah ya Rahman. Ya Rahman, adkhilna fi rahmatika. Ya Allah ya Rahman, Allahumma wahidna fil khair. Allahumma wahidna fi rahmatika. Allahumma wahidna fil Islam. Allahumma wahidna fis salama ya Allah ya Rahman ya Aziz. Allahumma inna na'udzubika min jahdil bala wa darkis syaqa wa su'il qada wa syamatatil a'da. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim la yadurru ma asmi syai'in fil ardi wala fis samai was samiul alim. Allahumma inna nas'alukal huda wat tuqa wal afafa wal ghina. Allahumma hdina siratal mustaqim siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Ya Fattah, ya Razzaq, ya Mukhailal ahwal, hawil ahwalana ila ahsanil hal. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil, ni'mal maula wa ni'man nasir, wala haula wala quwwata illa billahil alil azim. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Thank you, Prof. Thank you all of the participants. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you to Mr. Rasid. Ladies and gentlemen, that is webinar on this day. I'm Nur Malisa, as a Master of Ceremony, and I would like to say thank you very much for your participants and speakers on this international webinar. And let's add it by saying Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much. Good luck and see you in the next webinar. And last I say wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Bro Muhammad Bashar Arafat.
Ibu Rosita, terima kasih.
Terima kasih Pak Asep.
Ayo kita persiapan ke kedutaan.
Thank you, Prof. Ya.
Thank you, Imam Basar, for your
Thank you, Bu Wahyu. Yeah.
If you don't mind, Dr. Andy, if you just send me your email and your WhatsApp, I really appreciate that. You can take it from Dr. Rosita, because I would love to have a copy of your wonderful PowerPoint.
Thank you. So, no problem. Yeah, I will send to the committee.
Terima kasih.
Dan see you soon, either in the state
Inshallah.
or in
Yeah, I
Jakarta.
really enjoyed listening to you. And mashallah, you should be also a professor of tafsir. At the same time.
Inshallah. Yeah.
Thank you, Imam Bashar. See you soon in Indonesia.
Inshallah.
In UIN Syarif Hidayatullah.
Yeah, in Syarifullah, Jakarta.
Dr. Rosita, thank you very much for
Thank you,
everything.
Imam. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your amazing efforts. And it seems that you sleep and the WhatsApp is next to you, and you wake up and the WhatsApp is next to you.
Thank you, Imam. No problem. You are more from this now. Yeah, I have a very good team, very great team. Fully support from the faculty, for the dean and the director, of course. Here, for example, I have also Professor here and the Faisal Bhakti. So we are ready for the next.
Yeah, and I really
I'm
would
not
like to
the vice rector anymore, Wahyu Ningsi, to tell this one I just completed, my term.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So thank you, Prof.
Sister, how do you pronounce your name? Wahyu what?
Wahyu
Ningsi.
Ningsi.
Wahyu Ningsi. You may call me Ningsi, Prof. Imam. Ningsi.
Okay.
Yeah, that will be easier, I guess.
But Wahyu is easy for him because he's Arabic.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
He's Arabic, Wahyu.
Yes, exactly. Some of my lecturers also call me Wahyu. Yeah, Bu Wahyu.
Okay, then I'll call you Wahyu if you don't mind.
Sure.
Wahyu.
Yeah, exactly. Alhamdulillah.
For the next, inshallah, we will have a program English, like you say, right? So everybody in the center can have the turn like Ibu Wahyu.
Yeah, because I have prepared, to share with them this, but there was no time about Washington Academy for leadership.
Washington Academy,
And, English language for business, science, religion, and to share with them our programs. But of course, I will send them to you and you can share it with them, inshallah.
Inshallah.
About this Washington Academy, and they can register online.
Right.
And, so this is something I would like to talk with you more, Dr. Rosita, inshallah.
Inshallah. No, we don't need to finish now. We still have many, I think, for the meetings with the all people under our center with different topic, of course. And then, we will work more for the future, inshallah.
We will be delighted to work with you. And I mean, it was really a pleasure because we have a wonderful faculty here, like the Dr. Susan Douglas from Georgetown University and Gracie. And that's Jennifer Sayed from Texas. We have a lot of American Muslims who would love to, work with you. So this is my wife.
Waiting, Prof.
So inshallah, we will be delighted to work with you.
We're the same. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So now I have to prepare to the embassy, Imam, with another meeting, another purpose. So thank you so much. See you for the next time, inshallah, for the next meeting.
Thank you, Dr. Wahyu.
And thank you, Prof.
Adil, Andy, right? Dr.
Andy. Yeah, Prof. Andy. Exactly.
Imam,
thank you.
Having a copy of your PowerPoint, if it's possible.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Sure.
It has a lot of wonderful information.
Yeah, indeed.
Thank you.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Mohon izin, Lip, persiapan ambassador ya, Bu Rosita.
Ya, saya ada meeting lagi ke kedutaan setelah ini.
Ya.
Mohon izin Pak Andi.
Terima kasih Bu Rosita.
Terima kasih Prof. Andi.
Oke, sama.
Terima kasih Bu Rosita, Prof. Asep. Waalaikumsalam.
Dr. Wahyu, bahasa Inggrisnya bagus sekali ya.
Terima kasih Pak Andi. Thank you so much. Terima kasih banyak Prof. Andi.
Pak Dekan udah living ya. Terima kasih banyak Pak Dekan.
Oh iya Pak Dekan.
Udah living belum?
Ada wakil dekan? Ada wakilnya?
Oh iya, wakil dekan.
Tidak ada, Prof.
Tidak ada ya?
Tidak ada, Prof.
Iya, sibuk semua. Kita sekarang banyak sekali kegiatan, jadi dibagi-bagi.
Iya.
Terima kasih
ada rekamannya ya, jadi nanti bisa berguna semua.
Ada.
Ya, tadi saya lupa sebarkan ke seluruh mahasiswa saya yang tahun ini ada 200-an sebetulnya dekan dikirim, mungkin biasa. Tapi sebagian saya lihat ada yang ikut. Ya.
Mungkin
Lain
link
kali lah.
YouTube-nya bisa di-share barangkali Pak Muhtadi biar nanti
Oh iya, betul betul.
Bisa nanti di-share itu ya.
Oh iya, siap.
Itu ada Dedi Fahrudin, ya itu.
Iya, nggak ada Prof.
Itu bosnya itu.
Juga kawan-kawan S3 saya di UIN juga banyak yang join ya.
Ah iya, bagus. Lain kali disebarkan begitu. Sip.
Iya.
Ya.
Jadi,
Supaya
Pak,
banyak yang ikut. Ya.
Pasar itu Prof, banyak sekali programnya yang dia mengundang representatif pemuda, tokoh agama, imam, profesor dan seterusnya untuk ikut program beliau.
Yang penting ada biayanya karena kita
Ya,
ini
nah itu,
selalu kesulitan soal biaya ya.
Prof.
Disuruh
Jadi,
keluar tapi kita biaya kan susah.
itu
Memang
kalau
mudah.
sudah di-invite itu Prof sudah fully funded sama si ICF. Makanya teman-teman kalau ada yang punya interest lain silahkan mengontak beliau. Tadi itu ada share-nya emailnya. Beliau sangat open untuk bekerja sama. Any organizations, affiliated organization silahkan. Yang penting isunya harus global kalau dengan beliau itu. Saya kira demikian Pak Muhtadi, terima kasih banyak. Saya izin leave. Sukses luar biasa tim Pusat Studi Perdamaian dan Pemberdayaan Prof.
Iya.
Terima
Perlu
kasih banyak.
takbir.
Allah Akbar.
Terima kasih.
Sejahtera center ini.
Ya, amin ya Allah, mudah-mudahan lebih maju ke depan insya Allah, amin.
Amin.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih buat Prof Andi, terima kasih Bu Rosita, Bu Wahyu, para
Iya, sama Pak Muhtadi.
Terima kasih Pak Muhtadi.
Pak Rashid, Bu Nengsi terutama luar biasa. Terima kasih banyak.
Ya.
Jadi langganan moderator Bu Wahyu, langganan doa tuh Pak Rashid.
Ketimbang bingung-bingung kan Ibu ya.
Kanan doa Rosid ya.
Ya, yang generalnya Pak Muhtadi, Prof.
Cuma tadi ngajinya nanti ya bisa diseleksi dulu ya. Tadi udah bagus tapi seleksi lagi. Mungkin banyak tuh yang
kita belum ada langganan yang pas untuk
perlu ada langganan yang mahrajnya memang itu Korea, cari Korea, banyak sekali Korea kita.
Ya.
Ada nasional, internasional malah itu dicari yang itu ya.
Baik, Prof.
Itu kan juga ciri khas kita ya, soal tilawah kita selalu juara dunia. Dan banyak di UIN ya. Gitu ya.
Baik, Prof. Baik.
Oke. Baik.
Terima kasih.
Oke, terima kasih Bu Ros. Selamat.
Iya, saya pamit Pak.
Oke.
Ya, semangat.
Prof ya, sehat-sehat.
Assalamualaikum.
Ibu Direktur.
Thank you.
Bu Wahyu masih di Malang?
Enggak Pak, ini sudah di sini.
Oh gitu, kok nggak kedengaran?
Wah, jalan-jalan ke Malang ya? Jalan-jalan ke Malang ya?
Iya, kemarin jalan-jalannya lama Pak. Menghilang. Alhamdulillah.
Singgah ke Roda Baru.
Oh iya siap Pak. Oh pasti itu Pak Joni. Tempat kenangan. Terima kasih udah join Pak Joni.
Ya, sama-sama Neng. Oke. I want to go out. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi. Jauh-jauh ini dari Padang.
Iya ya. Salam dari Padang ya.
Iya, iya Pak Rashid. Dosen saya dulu ini, beliau ini.
Iya. Masya Allah.
Saya izin pamit juga, mohon maaf tidak bersama teman-teman di kampus karena ini masih banyak hal yang juga harus selesaikan di rumah, terutama mencari rewang. Untuk bisa, ini sudah mau offline semua ya Pak ya, jadi harus mencari orang untuk bisa menjaga anak-anak ini untuk bisa lebih lama di kampus. Makasih banyak Pak Rashid, Pak Muhtadi.
Sama-sama.
Teman-teman mahasiswa yang luar biasa, Masya Allah ya. Tanpa mereka kita tidak berarti apa-apa ya Pak Rashid ya. Masya Allah.
Biasa ini dibagi bayar ya.
Iya. Baik, terima kasih banyak. Saya izin live ya. Assalamualaikum.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Udah di end aja udah.